Hi everybody, Southern Hancock Community Relations Director Wes Anderson, New Palestine High School Principal Jim Voelz here.
Hello.
Jim, we got another kind of renovation tour today and an update for everybody on where things stand on the big New Palestine High School renovation project. And a lot to show today, really excited about this one. There have been a lot of big changes here in the last few weeks, but we wanted to start today here at the softball field, which has been completed for some time. But with the cancellation of spring sports in 2020, obviously this is the first go-around for our softball team in this beautiful new facility. It's part of the renovation project, and I had the opportunity to come out this weekend and see the Dragons take down #1 Ron Colley, which was an incredible environment. And honestly, this has to be one of the best facilities in the state of Indiana. This place is incredible, Jim.
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is where the very beginning of our building project was, right here. And I didn't think it was quite complete until the grass started coming up on Cooper Hill back there. And that is probably one of the best spots you can watch a softball game anywhere in the state, with the #1 Dragons undefeated. It is the facility with the turf. We've had several games on the road that were going to be rained out, and they were able to be rescheduled here so we can have a full schedule because games can be played here. I mean, it can be pouring down rain an hour beforehand, and then we're playing softball a little bit later. So yeah, with the dugouts, bleachers, press box, everything out here is magnificent.
One thing I want to note, I meant to mention this at the beginning, Principal Voelz and I are not going to wear our masks so you can hear us. It's a little bit windy out here today, so I want to make sure we're able to hear kind of what we're talking about and what we're describing as we go. So, like we talked about, I know this is one of the few turf softball fields in Indiana. You mentioned Monday night this week we had a game rescheduled. Rained all day Monday, and we're supposed to play Franklin Community down at their place, and ended up playing them up here, and that's kind of one of the benefits of this. And another one is honestly maintenance cost. In the long run, this is a great investment for a school corporation, because in the long run it actually saves us money. We don't have to mow it, we don't have to do the weed treatment, we don't have to do all that stuff. There's a little higher cost up front, but in the long run this is actually a very cost-effective solution to grass, which I think is great. It's a great savings for our taxpayers, and obviously this is a crown jewel of our facilities for sure.
So we're hosting sectional this year, which is exciting. When you have a facility like this, they're going to ask you to host things like sectional, regional, and on down the road. But yeah, it is awesome to have a facility like this that when you walk up to it, you're just incredibly proud of it. Of course, the team that we're putting on the field, Coach Markham's team, is incredible. They're really fun to watch. So that is awesome. So yeah, it's so far it's been a great season, and really happy with this facility.
If you have a chance, come out and see us. I know we're getting close to playoff time here. We've got a couple weeks to go before sectionals start, and what we hope is a really long title defense run for the 3-time defending state champion New Palestine softball team.
Yeah, awesome. We are Dragons.
Jim, what else do we need to see today?
Well, we are. There's some major demolition going on, so go and take a look at that. And then the actual Welcome Center main office, they're really coming along on that. So let's go take a look.
Okay, we're going to reset here, and we'll meet you over there. Okay, Mr. Voelz, so we're now in the far northeast corner, what used to be the far northeast corner of the building. Obviously,
They're busy.
Yeah, we've got some heavy equipment behind us. We're going to try to be as loud as we can, and we're going to try to clean the audio up here as best as we can. So you can hear us, but this obviously is where the biggest change has happened. Where we're standing used to be door 26, which was the north entrance to the academic part of the building, English wing, and honestly, about 2 feet behind where you're standing used to be the end of the hall in an English classroom.
Yeah, this right here was Molly Miller, and then right next to her is Kent Gish, and that entire wing has been leveled, and so we're making progress. Yeah.
So one of the neat things, you tweeted a video last week and some pictures and stuff. I shared some of that with some of our staff members. It was kind of neat to hear from some of them who grew up here and who went to school here, because some of them went to school in this building originally, even when it was an elementary school. And I think that shows, one, the age of this building and why the need was to replace it. But two, this is a really important part of our community.
Oh yeah,
that's going away, and while we're excited about the renovation process, it's also important to note, this is a really important structure to a lot of people that grew up here, that live here, and went to school here. Yeah. So I think we realize there's some bittersweet about this kind of progress But with that said, why don't you talk a little bit about where we go from here with this physical area once we get all this stuff out of here?
Yeah, well, the area right here, you can see all the rubble. That's going to be actually a 2-story structure, and that's going to be our resource department's going to move out to this area. Our English and math teachers are going to be upstairs and downstairs. Our cafeteria is actually going to move towards this side of the building. That area, which is the last phase, is going to, where the cafeteria is going to be the band and choir rooms. We're actually going to do some improvements to the auditorium with a hallway to get to the backstage and different exits and entrances there. So it's gonna, this is tough to look at.
Yeah.
But it's progress, and the completed building is going to be pretty amazing.
One of the other things that I think is kind of neat from an aesthetic purpose that doesn't really affect the functionality of the building necessarily, but when you drive in to the front entrance of our high school, right next to that is all of our dumpsters and our big heaters and our chillers and all that big industrial equipment. We're going to move all that back here.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help the look of the front of the building too. It's also going to make it easier for our service personnel. We're also going to be able to deliver a lot of our stuff, our food materials.
Yeah, there'll be a loading dock back here for the cafeteria, loading dock for any type of big packages. All that's had to be in the front. Like I said, along with the recyclable trucks and the garbage trucks are all right next to the front office. So it's nice to get that in the back of the school.
So when we're all done, we're actually going to have a nice road that comes back here, nicer than the old 1-lane gravel that was back here. That's actually going to kind of make a full loop all the way around the building from that parking lot that's on the opposite side of the field house, which you can see way in the background back there. Eventually this will all kind of be interconnected and easier for all those big semis and garbage trucks and all those big pieces of equipment that need to come to and from campus every day. We're able to keep those away from our buses. We're able to keep those away from our student drivers and our parent drop-off and all that stuff. It just makes sense in how we logistically arrange the building.
I'm excited also for phase 2. Phase 1 was the field house, weight room, wrestling room, a lot of athletics, although we needed to do that to get 20 teachers out to the field house.
Sure.
But this now is kind of the academic wings are going to start taking shape, and the new cafeteria, which is much needed. And so that's exciting.
So one more area we want to look at today is the expansion to the front of the building. And we've got some progress out there in terms of the new front office and kind of how that entryway is going to start to take shape. So let's head over there and take a look at that.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so this is the new front of your building. Right behind us, where you kind of see all the board, the purple board up there is what used to be door 1, used to be the main entrance to the school that everybody came in for 30 years. And a lot's changed here. We've now closed that off, and as we go inside here, you're going to start to see some of the structural changes to what the front office is going to be. So why don't you kind of talk a little bit about how this is going to change, Jim, before we go in?
Well, we're going to have more of the main entrance that people are going to say, okay, this is the main entrance to the building. It's just going to be a little more grand. I think it's going to be 22-foot ceilings. And so this is going to be a vestibule, like a welcome center to come into our main office, and then you head into the rest of the building. Over here is going to be, would be to my right, is going to be an actual community center, which is going to, you're going to have up to 120 people in there, so the community can use it, schools can use it. And then on the other side of that is going to be our guidance offices. So yeah, this is the main entrance, and so they're open to have this done by the end of the summer. This is where people are going to be coming into the building.
So let's head in here and kind of take a look at the layout of what this new office space is going to look like, and kind of where people can find what they're looking for when they come into the building, starting hopefully, fingers crossed, when we come back in August for the 2021-22 school year.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. When we first come in here, and we're standing currently in, it's going to be a really large conference room, which is going to have lots of windows, which is something that we desperately needed. We did not have very many conference rooms that were close to the office. And then over here, as I'm pointing over this direction, this is going to be where our front secretaries are going to be, and that's going to be called the Welcome Center as they come in here. And so we'll have the same safety systems with the camera and the buzzer system and all that kind of stuff. So we come through this hallway right here, and we start hitting, and we actually have about 8 administrative offices. Some of those may start out as small conference rooms, and then we have an area for students who might need to relax a little bit. And then we're going to have an area for our SRO, which right now we currently don't have. And we're going to have our SRO is going to have their own office area right behind, or not that they'll be there a lot, but that's going to be their main spot. It's going to be right behind our secretaries there. We'll be back. And then we keep coming this way, and we just have more offices, and we get to the back here. I think they're coming back from lunch break, so they're ready to rock and roll for a few more hours. Yeah. But right here is going to be where kind of the principal secretary, and this is where, actually right here, and here's my doorway. So you can see it now, I'm going to see it later. But this right here, I'm very excited. 2 windows, lots of plants, but this will be the new principal's office. So I'm thinking desk about right here. Put some plants on the ledge. Yeah, so this is, I'm very excited. And so this right over here is the auxiliary entrance. I do like being in a spot where you've got windows, you kind of see who's coming in and out. But the main entrance over there is where most people, but this will be our athletic area for athletes to come in. When we have contests and games, that's where fans will come in, these doors.
Well, we've come a long way. We were last out here probably early December. Was the last time we did a video. It was right before Christmas because the field house was done, and we stood in this corner, and it was just dirt.
A slab.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a dirt.
It was just dirt, and they had like a flag in the ground for where we were standing. So we've certainly come a long way here in 5-ish, 6-ish months.
So they're currently framing it all out, and they say within the next week or two they're actually going to start putting drywall up, so we'll start seeing the actual rooms. And then right next to us, which is where we currently are, they're going to refurbish that all summer and make that into a new clinic, athletic offices. And so we hope when the school year starts that administrators will be here, and then we'll have the athletic department. I think we'll probably start out with, because the guidance area won't be done, the guidance counselors, guidance department will be with us for a few months until that's done. But yeah, super excited.
You know, one of the questions I get a lot is, when is this thing going to happen? When are we going to get started on cafeteria? When are we going to get started on adding all these classrooms that we're talking about? And can you kind of talk a little bit about what this process is like? I mean, I guess for a principal, but in general, you've been through a couple of these now. There are a lot of little pieces in a specific order that things have to go in to kind of make the whole puzzle fit together.
Yeah, and I will say, when you're adding to an old structure, trying to connect that electric, connect the ductwork, that type of stuff, just sometimes things don't quite fit, and so it might back you up. But they've done a great job of then, in certain areas, well, we're going to leave this area until we get that figured out, and we'll start somewhere else. And so they're trying to stay on schedule as much as possible. I will give, obviously, our students and staff tons of credit this year, because they might find out last minute a classroom they need to move. The adaptability and flexibility of our students and staff this year has been, and our parents, has been amazing, because we have shifted people to different areas just because of the construction and what we need to do.
Well, I tell you what, Principal Voelz, it sounds like business is starting to pick up here a little bit. So it might be about time to shut this thing down.
Yeah. They're working hard.
They are. So we'll plan on another couple months. Maybe over the summer we'll come back one more time and talk about where things are when we get ready to come back in August for the start of the next school year.
Maybe get back, and I'm sitting in my desk.
Yeah.
Pictures up on the walls, and we're good to go.
Well, as always, if you have any questions about the renovation, feel free to reach out to Principal Voelz or myself, and we'll be happy to try to find an answer to the question you might have. Always appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for everything that you've done to support us, our teachers, our students this school year. We're greatly appreciative to have such a supportive community that's on board with a great project like this. So thank you guys.